Hey, everybody, welcome to Five Fast Questions. Our guest today is Gene Messer, and a carving legend, folks. He has 2,800 videos on his YouTube channel. He is the founder of the Let's Talk Carving Facebook group that is very popular and informative for folks. And he's been carving flat plane figures for decades. Well known and well renowned. Gene, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Jack. I appreciate it so much, and I appreciate you having me on here and all the carvers out there for sure.
Well, we're in for a treat, I have a feeling. And let's start with the story, Gene, because I feel like everybody has a story about how they got started into wood carving. Tell us yours.
Well, Jack, actually, I didn't. I've always worked with wood most of my life. I worked with a bandsaw since I was 13, and my dad built boats. Actually, built boats and stuff, and I helped him. But after my wife got cancer. She got breast cancer, and at first we were doing all right, and then she continued to get worse, and I wanted to find something to do uh, in the long days in the cancer hospitals, and of course she got pretty bad off at home and stuff, and so I was walking through a mall one day, and I saw a carving show from a local club down in my area, and I thought, boy, I would really like to do that. So I didn't really start carving at that time. I tried to do a little bit, but of course I was stupid. I got some yellow pine and a dull knife, and of course that didn't last long. But I just started studying it at that time. It gave me time when my wife was. I spent a lot of time with her, worked and spent a lot of time with her because she was down for a long time. So I just started researching, studying, and reading about carving and studying through books. And back then, basically, you read books. You know, that's how you learn how to carve or anything like that. And of course, after my wife passed, then that was in '91. Then I had a 4-year-old son left over. That was my son, Matt. And I began to take care of him. But I never lost the desire to want to learn carving. And as I worked and took care of him, and my mother helped me as well, I started actually picking up a knife and actually trying to do a little bit of carving actually whittling more. I'm more of a whittler, I think. And so I started whittling a lot, and it just gradually worked from there. In other words, but and I kind of went off and on, but it was probably in the later '90s that I really began to start doing it more and more and start learning more and uh, getting it down. And I was able to join this wood carving club that was down there, and at that time we had quite a few people. So I learned from a lot of people, and they helped me a whole lot. And when I found the time, we did those things. And that's actually how I got started. Actually, it was not a very pleasant thing that I got started, learning or wanting to learn from, because I just had a lot of extra time. And of course, the death of my wife was bad and stuff. But it did spur me to take an interest in carving, reading about it, studying about it, and that's how I got started. And then on, I would put it down, pick it back up, put it down, pick it back up. But like I said, in the late '90s is when I really started. When I picked it up, I found my desire and love for it, and that's when I really started to do it a whole lot. Really, I enjoyed doing it and found the love for it, and that's how it all got started. And then that form of, and from then on, I continued to carve a lot and carve quite a bit, or whittle, as I say, quite a bit, because I only use a knife and a few little small gouges, and I just fell in love with it.
Gene, let's talk about folks who are just starting to get into it, whether it's whittling or
Mhm.
wood carving with lots of different tools. If you had an opportunity to talk to someone who was just starting out and you could give them one piece of advice, what would that be?
Well, when it comes to beginners, I thought that the advice most people give the advice will start with clubs and things like that. But my advice to most beginners, and I've had to learn this over the years through messaging and talking with people and even dealing with beginners. First of all, make sure that you want to do this. I think that's more than anything in the world. Make sure that don't a lot of people, what they do when they get started in a hobby or an art or whatever it is, they go out and spend a lot of money. They go out and buy a lot of tools, so they get new knives and all this other stuff. Don't do that. I don't advise that for beginners. Um, buy you they have now, like, I think Beavercraft makes a knife. It's $12, $13. Buy one of those, and then get you some basswood off Amazon, maybe the 1x1, and just make sure that you want to continue to do this, because I believe that carving, like anything else, and whittling or whatever it is, you have to have a desire to create and a desire and a love for it. And as a beginner, I've seen so many beginners come and say they see your carvings, and then they go, wow, I want to do that. And then they get started. They do not realize the amount of time and effort and practice that goes into it. And you've got to understand that as a beginner. And so don't invest a lot of money in it at first. Just get you the main basics of a knife and some wood, and read about it, do things like that, watch videos and stuff. Then if you find that desire to do it, then you can go on to better knives and better wood and maybe bandsaws and maybe things like that. But my advice to beginners is to first start off very slow. Make sure you love it. Make sure you want to do it. And then you can continue.
Hmm.
But I've seen a lot of people begin and quit and buy a lot of stuff, and then all of a sudden, well, it isn't exactly what I wanted. And that's fine. That's fine. We're all like that. I've seen guys buy boats that they never use because they can't pay for it. Have to work all the time. I didn't mean to bring that in, but and hobbies can get expensive.
Oh,
So
yeah.
don't make it expensive, but more than it, learn. And Jack, as far as carving is concerned, and most all carvers out there that are doing it, there's a desire and a love that you have for it. And you'll know if you have that desire and love for it and whether you want to continue with it, and you will. So that's my advice to beginners more than anything in the world. Start
Hmm.
slow, make sure you want to do it, and if you do, then you can move on to bigger and better things, as we say.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Very good. That's sound advice for sure. Gene, I mentioned earlier that you've had so many accomplishments with your YouTube channel, the Facebook group that you
Mhm.
founded, and all of the carving recognition as well. Of all of your whittling or wood carving related achievements, which one would you say that you're most proud of?
I would say the videos. I would definitely say that. And not because I'm tooting my own horn and saying, oh, look at this. No, it's just the fact that when I'm dead and gone one day, that they'll still be available for people to watch and to learn by. When I set out in 2007, when there was hardly anybody ever doing it, uh, my first video I ever made, I mean, it was so horrible. I didn't even want to, I wouldn't have watched it myself, but it was terrible. It was called Whittling a Face. And I didn't even do a part two, but all of a sudden I got messages and people wanted more and more and more. And then as I did more, and then that's just the way it went. But more than anything in the world, um, that was an accomplishment to me. It's hard for me to believe that I've been able to do that in many and all these years, but that I can leave something. And just like with everybody, I never set out to be the great teacher that taught everybody everything, because I simply use a knife. But all I wanted to do was help people get started. And over the years, I know that I've gotten so many messages from people all over the world that help them just get started. And that's all I ever wanted. I never wanted to be well known in the carving, community as having this or having that. It was only to help people learn, get started, and then have the teachers like what we have today come in and teach them even better things and stuff, because so many people, just don't have access to clubs, don't have access to classes. So many in the UK tell me, I get so many messages from the UK that say, we don't have clubs, we don't have classes, we don't have anything. And your videos have helped me go on to watching other people and do things like that. And that's, to me, one of the greatest accomplishments, to help people, because I've never taken any money from YouTube. I know I could have, but I never did, because I never wanted to do. It was, the whole accomplishment was to help people learn. And that's true. That's the whole thing. So I say that was probably the most accomplishment I ever did in my life, to help others.
It's an amazing legacy, Gene, at 2,800 videos and counting, right?
Well, yeah, I'm slowed down, and we've already talked about these wonderful new people that are coming up with videos. Amazing, amazing.
Well, let's move on to a fun fact, Gene. Give us a fun fact about you that most people would be surprised to learn.
Well, there's another hobby that I love, and a lot of people don't know that. And I put some things on my Facebook, and I think they've kind of gotten an idea. But I absolutely love. I got involved in a theater group, and I do a little bit of on stage, but I absolutely love to build sets for plays in theater. The illusion of building something that the audience sees but yet is not real has always, it's just fascinated me. And I think I even put on my Facebook page a picture of a set that I helped build for Arsenic and Old Lace. And it's a beautiful set, and the designer, John Holland. But I have found this very wonderful thing that I love to do. And plus it doesn't cost me anything. They're the ones spending the money. But I used to do it when I was a young man. I used to work with a guy that built sets. And then, of course, I went into work, and when I was working for 40 years, I didn't do it anymore. But I've been able to get back to it, and I really enjoy, because we build the inside of rooms. We build things that makes it look like the inside of a house or inside of this, and it just brings a joy to me, because it's something that I've always liked working with wood. So building theater sets is really, really a joy to do, and I love doing it. And I was so glad that I joined this little theater group that is a part of a church, and we build their sets, and we build some very elaborate sets, believe it or not. And it's fun. It's a fun thing to do. But and so I get a chance to do it. So that's, a lot of people don't know that, but I have found that to be an enjoyment in my life. It really is, and keeps me busy while I'm retired.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, that sounds great. And you get to meet a lot of folks there, I'm sure. And
yeah, I do. And we're a small group, but we build some pretty elaborate sets, and just building and just using illusion for an audience. And when it's all done, the audience enjoys that. That's a joy. That's a joy to be able to accomplish things and then we tear it down for the next show coming up, and we build something else. So that's the joy of it, you know.
Well, Gene, let's move to our last question for today, and that's about
Okay.
resources. We've talked a little bit about the Facebook
Mhm.
group and some other things too. When it comes to resources that you have available for carvers, whittlers, folks who are looking for information, where can they find it?
Well, I explained to you, we had talked that earlier. COVID, just even though COVID was a horrible thing, and I lost a lot of friends myself in COVID. COVID did do something. It carvers are the most wonderful people in the world. And when COVID came along, and it just, we couldn't have shows anymore, we couldn't have this stuff anymore. It opened up a whole new world of people figuring out ideas to teach and to help people learn how to carve and do things like that. I've never seen anything like it. Well, and I'll tell you back, Jack, back a long time ago, as we said, you learn from a book and that was it, or you learn from a carving class, or you learn from something like that. And but the resources are just enormous. You have people now coming on YouTube that are teaching for free, and I mean, this is free stuff. This is not. Yeah, I mean, now the Woodcarving Academy is a wonderful thing, and International Association of Woodcarvers. Now, the Woodcarving Academy, you're going to have to pay a little bit for top-notch carvers to teach you, but you've got guys that are really good carvers and put me to shame, and that are teaching right now on YouTube and places like that. And if you cannot get in a club or you don't have these type of resources, the internet, social media is, to me, the biggest boom as far as teaching and helping people learn how to do things. I talk about YouTube and stuff. I want to do something on my car or something sometimes, and I'll go to YouTube, or I had to fix something on my toilet the other day and went to YouTube and learned how to do it. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing the resources out there. So it's the same thing with carvers. There's a resource out there that you and I never saw at one time in our lives. If we'd have had the resources back then that we have now with social media, it would have been amazing. So take advantage of what you have here. You can get on and you just put in wood carving and whittling and stuff, and you get this thousands and thousands of videos and people learning and teaching you. Those are the resources that any carver can take. Not only, and I say a picture is worth 1,000 words. That if whoever said that with it, and now you can get on there and just learn, just see some of the best teaching and ideas, and as a beginner, beginning carving, put that on social media. And we talked about eventually maybe AI will come up with things for us all to learn. It's unbelievable, Jack, what is available. And look at your podcast. I mean, you're throwing information out there for everybody to go to these certain people and learn and stuff. It is just, it blows my mind what is available now to, and you and I grew up, we didn't have even computers back then or anything like that. It's unbelievable. It totally blows my mind what is available for people, and what is just there. Um,
Yeah. You know what else is
I
interesting now,
mean,
Gene? Some of those wood carving books that are now out of print are very
uh-huh.
valuable. Yeah.
Yes, they
I've
are.
got a Mike Shipley book that's 80 some dollars on online if you can find it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I had some that I lost in Hurricane Harvey, when my house got flooded. And I lost, no, I don't even want to talk to you. I lost 3/4 of my books. And I
Mm.
had some very ancient books and stuff like that. But I mean, it's unbelievable. What is available to I mean, when I first started carving, the only thing that was available was a Jack Price compact cartridge. That's why I love Jack Price so much, because I learned so much from him. I mean, it was a VHS video. That was just they didn't have nothing.
Right.
And today it's incredible. And y'all, like your podcast and other things, you got Doug who is just everyone loves, and so many carvers. I told you Johnny Layton has started making videos, and Roger Stegall, has his, one of the great carvers, Roger. It's just so many. Van Kelly, all these people, and Kevin, even though Kevin Coates, where you said it's hard to find him now, he's left these videos. Like I said, even if a person quits one day or doesn't do it as many anymore, you've got Scott Carvings, you've got, just people that can show you so much how to sharpen. We had to learn the old ways how to sharpen, and it was it was a hit and miss sometimes, but you don't have to hit and miss anymore. You don't have to. You can learn. Some of the finest people can teach you how to sharpen, and it's just everywhere. And I don't mean to just get on a rant like that, but it blows my mind how unbelievable we can do things and learn from social media. So I know there's bad things in social media, but there's such good things too. And that's what I'd say, Jack, as a person, go to social media and learn. And it's so available to you. People got phones now they can go with. So who'd ever thought you had a phone that you could carry with you? Back when I was a kid, it had party lines, so I hate to bring all that stuff up, but it's true.
Yeah.
But it's incredible.
Well, Gene, I appreciate your time today. Thank you for
I appreciate you
setting aside some time, and
thank you.
Gene's being humble, folks. He is a very, very good carver, especially when it comes to flat plane.
Well,
make sure you go out and check out his YouTube channel. Go to Let's Talk Carving on Facebook and enjoy all of the information that's available for you. Gene, thanks again, buddy. If I can do anything for you, just give me a holler.
Jack, you just keep those podcasts going. I love them. I told you already. Yeah, you're presenting people that I don't even know are on the web. So, and I'm going to them. So, thank you so much, Jack. I appreciate you, and I wish blessings and the Lord's blessings on your family. And thank you so much.
Same for yours, Gene. Well, folks,
all right, brother.
Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you again sometime soon.
God bless. Bye-bye.